Hey guys, I'm struggling to maintain my voice, so I'm going to make this as quick as possible. First off, yes, I know there is a cat in the background. But more importantly, I have to apologize. I did not get to my Angry Video Game Nerd Part 3 re-review this week. This week just became really busy, and I just couldn't get around to it, and I really apologize for that. To make up for it, though, I went ahead and posted my alternate review of the re-review on Blip. What happened was I initially wrote, shot, and edited an episode, but it just wasn't working for me. I couldn't really get fully behind it. It just couldn't achieve a flow or rhythm. I didn't like how certain points were connecting to other points. So after I was done, I just decided I was going to go ahead and rewrite, shoot, and edit the episode the next day, and I did so. And I was actually surprised at how different it was. It actually leads into something completely new. For example, with how it's been, the first episode pretty much contained the full review, and then the second contained my problems with them. Originally, it was going to be I do half of the review one episode, then the second half in another episode. So with this new one, it would have ended with I mainly just talk about the humor and part of the critiquing, and I would finish the critiquing and the production values in the part 2 that never really came to be. So there's a lot of different stuff. There's maybe a little bit more humor. I don't really remember. So if you guys want to check that out, just look in the links in my description. You might even prefer it. You'll just have to see. There is a second part that I also completely redid. I'm not sure when I'll be able to get that one up, because I didn't get that one as far in terms of editing. I think I was about halfway through, so maybe next week I'll have that one up too. So that's that on that. Like I said, I apologize for the delay. I'm having difficulty speaking right now, so I'm probably going to wrap this up. I have decided that I would do the Internet Movie or Reviewer Awards. Pretty much what happened was that the vote was contaminated by somebody who really did not want me to do it. So I felt like a lot of people from somebody else's fan base, I'm not saying anybody in particular, I don't know who did it, I can't find any proof. But the vote, the way it went down was really suspicious. It started out where a good chunk said no, but most people said yes. But then it suddenly flipped over out of nowhere. It wasn't like this gradual thing. It just suddenly went from the majority was for yes for like the first week, and then 2 days later it completely flipped around and people were voting no, and I don't get that much traffic. So I just had to throw that out, and since the majority of people who commented were for it, I figured, okay, might as well do it. And it's not taking as much time as I expected, so it won't interfere with critiquing the critics too much, so that's good. Any movies I saw Hugo, really good, not great, has great acting, great characters. I love the cast. It's nice to see Ben Kingsley do a respectable movie these days. Christopher Lee is in it, and that's cool as always. The last time I saw him in a big movie like this was Alice in Wonderland, and that sucked. What else? It's impeccably shot. The editing is fantastic. The 3D is shockingly good. I just felt it was a bit self-indulgent. Like the whole dream sequence wasn't really necessary, but it looked great. And at the same time, though, it probably made the budget too big for this kind of movie. I mean, this movie cost between 140 and 170 million. Who thought that would make back its money for this type of movie? It should have been no higher than 100 million. And it's even worse because it isn't what it's not what the trailers made it out to be. The trailers made it out to be some sort of cyberpunk fantasy type film. It's really not. It's just about the early days of cinema. And the whole point is that Scorsese loves cinema, and the film is really a tribute to cinema of old. Well, it's obviously a new movie. So I really like that angle of it, because I really do love those really old movies like A Trip to the Moon, which is one of the main subjects of it. But if you go in expecting like some sort of, like I said, some cyberpunk fantasy type movie, you're not going to get it. That's really it on that. So that's a really good movie. I wouldn't say great, though, but I'd say definitely give it a shot, because it doesn't deserve to bomb as hard as it has. I saw The Sitter. I didn't like it. It wasn't that funny. The whole thing was like it was Adventures in Babysitting meets The Hangover, but didn't really know how to use any of its ideas. It's really predictable, from the cliche tacked on love interest to the main guy who's kind of an asshole turn into this more heroic character, which just kind of jumps her. Sort of like Bad Teacher, how she suddenly develops into a nice person. It just doesn't really work. All the kids' problems are resolved within one scene. And most of all, it just wasn't that funny. The funnier parts are in the trailers, and I just didn't laugh a whole lot. And at times, the raunchiness became more gross than funny. Like, do we really need to see Jonah Hill going down on some chick? That's the extent of the raunchiness, really. And really, the thing that stood out the most, that's both the film's best scene, yet in some ways the worst, is this sequence where he talks to his estranged father. And that scene is really depressing, and it would have worked great in some sort of drama, but in this ridiculous comedy feels completely out of place. So you know your comedy did something wrong when the only scene that stands out is a real dark and depressing sequence. So I wouldn't watch that. At best, wait till it comes out on TV or DVD. It's not the worst movie of the year, but it's not good either. I didn't see Twilight. I just didn't want to go alone to a movie like that. Usually with those movies, I hop on with somebody else who wants to see it. And, I don't especially want to see it anyway, but I like to watch them for reviewing sake. And it just wasn't worth going alone. That's one movie I would never see on my own. I have my dignity after all. So anyway. So I avoided that. I'll probably watch it when it comes out on DVD or Netflix, preferably. Something that I don't have to pay for. Well, I'll have you say pay for Netflix, but I won't pay... God, I lost my train of thought. This is why I was trying to make this quick. It's different when you rent a movie from like a video store. You're paying $5 for that movie, whereas with Netflix, at least it's all bundled. That's really it. I saw Assassination Games with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Scott Adkins, which wasn't what I expected, because I expected a more martial arts-oriented movie, but it was just a drama action thriller. But as such, it was pretty good. And that's really it. I don't think I reviewed any of these movies. I have to do a written review of Assassination Games soon, but I don't know when. And that's really all. Thank you for your time. If you want to watch my initial version of the Angry Video Game Nerd re-review, I stress this isn't my old crappy review of him. Just check the links in my description. I'll see you guys later.